Hi girls. So today we're going to do this, it goes with this mani right here, my MOSAIC mani, and I did reverse stamping, and the most requested one I had was for the ring finger here, which is right here. All the images are on the same plate though, so if you do want to do the other ones, they're just hand painted with acrylic. But we're going to do this one today. Now all these ones here really didn't need a background, polish or color because the decal covered the whole nail. This one did not completely, so we are starting out with a silver background. You could really do whatever color you want, but this is what I am using, and it's LA Colors. It's called Live. Anyway, Dollar Tree. And so that's our base, and then the stamping plate we're using is by What's Up, really pretty. And the image we're using for the ring finger is this one right here. The other images on here, so index finger is this one, middle finger and baby finger is this one here. And anyway, as I said, today we're doing the ring finger and we're doing this one right here. So this is What's Up B001, and I'll put all the information in the information box of everything I'm using. So I went ahead, trying to save a little time, and stamped the image on here in black stamping polish. And so now we're just going to use acrylic paints, and we're going to paint that in. I'll put all the names and colors and stuff of that too. I'm using a detail brush. So 20 is about the size that it is. You could use any small brush, whatever you like doing. Some people use dotting tools. That's not my preference, but I have done that before. So I started with this image because everything's kind of a geometric. To just start, and I'm doing this upside down, so please bear with me, to make a line, outside line, as straight as you can. These things don't have to be perfect. And then just go around the outside, the middle one in this blue, and then you can just fill it in. Now if you wanted to, in this little center dot, you could put silver or sparkle or hollow or whatever you want, but I'm just going to cover the whole thing, and I'll show you later why. So we're just going to go ahead and just color all this in here with the blue, with this blue. Get it, covered as good as you can. The nice thing about acrylic paint is it dries pretty fast, which helps when you're doing this kind of thing. And so if you need to check to see how it looks, you can look at it this way, and you can kind of see then, how it looks. So then I'm gonna, if you get any spots, if it's noticeable, then you can kind of go over it and add some more. But for the most part, it's pretty easy. Okay, so we've got the blue done, and now we're going to go to, actually I think I'm going to add a little blue up at these little top things. I mean, most likely it wouldn't even fit, may not even fit on your nail anyway, but just in case, depending on how big your nail is, you could go ahead and do those just to be on the safe side. Okay, so now we're going to go switch over to the green. It's I used kind of an apple green color. And so the four corners of this we're going to do in the green. Now this paint is by Accent, this particular one I'm using. The other one was by a different brand, but this one is kind of on the thinner side, so really my favorite ones to use, I like Cracker Barrel, okay, or Apple Barrel, okay. I like Ceram Coat probably the best, but out of all of them I would say probably Ceram Coat and the Apple Barrel for these little craft paints. And you can get them anywhere where they sell your craft stores or big box stores or whatever. But okay, so you just get the green on there, and you can do it the same way on this particular image, where you can just do the line or not. If you don't want to mess with that and you just want to fill it in and you can get it good enough, then, go ahead. Definitely the center one I think is easier to do an outline first. because there is more surface there. And we'll go ahead and do this one too. Okay. And then we're gonna kind of let this dry a little bit. And I don't know what the deal is with my stamper. I guess there must be a film or something on here because it's kind of pitting out as this acrylic paint dries, but it doesn't usually do that with polish. And like I said, you can use polish if you've got, you rather use polish if you're used to doing this kind of reverse stamping. If you're used to doing reverse stamping and you're used to using polish, go ahead and do that if that's your preference. I like them both, just depends on what I'm doing, but for this particular one I used acrylic, and most of the time, like I said, it does dry pretty fast, so lots of variety and pretty inexpensive too. Okay, so we're going to look at it from this side now, and so real pretty. See, this one out of all of them on this mani is really the quickest as far as doing the painting, I think, but none of them were hard. And when I have clients, sometimes I go ahead and do this ahead of time and make it a decal so that I can store it, and I'll try and remember to show you that real quick before we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and now we just got to wait for this to dry. I'm going to try and hurry it up a little bit with this, especially because I had to add some extra color. You wouldn't have to on yours. The first coat probably will be already dry. But we're going to go ahead and do this. And then as you can see, this does have some open spaces. But on a smaller nail like mine, you hardly, when you got it on the nail, you hardly had any of it. But still, that's why we did our nails silver. And so this is drying a little bit. I'm going to show you real quick a couple of the, how I did it when I store them. So basically what I do is, and you can do it on your mat too. Sometimes I do it on my mat, sometimes I do it on this. These little, plastic sleeves. But either way, you just do a couple coats of your Wet n Wild first, let it dry, and then stamp it, and then you can just paint it in. And you could be watching TV or, whatever, while you're, doing it, especially if you're doing several of them, for all 10 fingers. And this is that same design that we're working on right now. And that's, of course, how it looks before it's, colored in. And then from the other side, you can see how, they look when they're, how they look when they're colored in. And so it's this design that's on my middle finger, right there. So kind of fun, kind of reminds me of a patch quilt or something, but in this case it's MOSAIC. So that sort of gives you an idea, how that works. So let's see, I think this is dry now. So I'm going to go ahead and put some Bundle Monster, actually, since I have paint over the, never mind. Yes, I am going to do Bundle Monster Smudge Free Top Coat. I probably could get by with using my Wet n Wild over this since I painted over the stamping part, but there's little teeny bits of black scrolly stuff showing out on the edges, so I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and just put a coat of Bundle Monster over my image before we move it to the nail. So that can set and dry for a minute. And you can get this at Bundle Monster, Smudge Free Top Coat, or you can even get it at What's Up now. They're carrying their polishes and the top coat. And then on this one, so, sometimes like when you're doing an image like this, if you, can get it fast enough, you can go ahead and just stamp it off your stamper. If you're doing it on your stamper, right onto the nail, no problem. But if it dries, and we are letting it dry, so if you want to be on the safe side, then just there's more expensive ones, but I just use this, and it so far worked really great for me. And this is LA Colors. It's called Base Coat Top Coat, and I just put a coat of this on the nail, and let it dry most of the way. You don't want it wet, just like you don't want that wet. You want that to dry. And you want this to be at least almost dry, almost all the way dry. You don't want it to feel wet, but you do want it to you want to feel it's going to be a little bit tacky, which is what you want, because that's going to help you get your dry decal to stick on your nail. So I'm going to go ahead and blow dry a little bit, both of them. All right, so that's still a little bit wetter than I like. I'm going to check this one carefully too. That one's probably just a little bit. So also, when we get this, I wanted to show you on this one here. So after this is dry enough and we get it on the nail, the only thing I added to embellish to give it more of that mosaic look is this little one of these. It's not a rhinestone. You could put rhinestones if you want to. They're like these little metal things, kind of shaped similar to a rhinestone, and then these little metal square pieces at the bottom. And so I'll show you that pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this is everything's good, and I'm going to press this right in the center, and if I needed to, you could carefully roll it that way and then carefully roll it off, so that hopefully, and if you have any spots that are still a little bit wet, then it might, smear or whatever. But normally, if you only have to put one coat of the paint on, it'll be dry enough. So I did get a little spot. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not perfect, but normally you wouldn't have to worry about your time as much, and you could let it get dry really good. But since we're doing a video, we don't want to take too long. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that centerpiece in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and put a top coat over here first, and I'm going to use the Bundle Monster and just put it over the whole thing. And you don't, just kind of float it over. I go down the middle first and then swipe it on the sides like that. Okay, and then we'll just give it a minute to dry. And really the only thing you have left to do is to put on those little studs, and that's it. Bundle Monster dries pretty good. Pretty quick. It's not quite there yet, but we'll give it a little bit more. Okay, that feels pretty good. So then I just use my nail glue, and I'm just gonna, I want to get my little stud out there first so it's ready. And anything, a lid, plastic lid, or whatever you want to put it in, however you pick up rhinestones and keep them from rolling off. So I'm just going to grab one of these. This has one of these little sticks with the sticker on it. I'm going to put it right in there so it's upright. And then I'll put my glue, dab a teeny bit of glue right in that center there. Doesn't take very much. And there's just a little center spot right in there, and that's where we're going to dab just a teeny bit of glue. There we go. And then we're going to use our little sticky tool, pick up our either rhinestone if you want to use a rhinestone, or this little guy. And I'm just going to use my metal pusher to touch this with, because I don't want to get glue on that other thing. Okay, and so there's a little rhinestone, rhinestone or this little metal stud thing. Since I was going for a mosaic look, I didn't want it too blingy. So next we're going to do those little squares, and I'm going to grab this other little tool, and I'm going to try and pop out. I got 3 of them in here, and flip them over. And I'm sorry you can't see this part, but I'm sure you can figure this much out for sure. Okay, got one over. Let me get the second one over. Okay, there we go. There's 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue down here. Now your nail, like I said, would be a lot smaller. So, you know, on this one, on my nail, being the shape it's in, I did it in a V at the very, you know, end of it. But no matter what your shape, you could still do it in the V shape if you want to, towards the bottom of your nail, or however you like it placed. But I'm going to go ahead and just dab a little bit of glue there. Don't want to flood it with too much. And then this little tool here, it's called a quick stick by We Are, and you can buy it. Oops, I don't want to undo it. I just want to pull it off. There we go. It's kind of like a putty thing, and you buy it where they sell sewing stuff. You know, you probably have a Cortana, and if you do, that works probably as good or better. But this works pretty good too. I got it for rhinestones. So I'm going to go ahead and put it so it looks just like a diamond. And then I'm going to put the next one right next to it, like you're, you know, doing tile. There we go. And right, oops, right there. Okay. And I'm not going to use that to push or to, you know, make sure to move it or to kind of press it down. I'd rather use my little metal pusher in case I get any glue on it. Okay, I am going to push this one a little bit closer to that. There we go. Okay, and there they are. Really fun, really pretty. It'd be pretty to do all of them like this, really, especially if you're going out somewhere. So if you want, you can, it's already got a top coat over everything, so you don't need to do a top coat. They're glued on, but if you're worried about, you know, scraping the paint on these or something, you could just cover the little metal pieces with a little bit of, you know, top coat if you want to, matte or shiny. So there you go. So I hope you get to give this a try, and it's a lot of fun. This is the reverse stamping, and like I said, you can even make the decals, but this is on the stamper. If it's easier for you, you can do it on your mat, however you want to do it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you'll get notices for my next video. Thanks. Bye, guys.